You're watching The Advocate on Plus TV Africa. Time to be courageous and say what needs to be said. So what am I saying? I'm saying where history can't be denied, only the truth matters. So the just concluded presidential and senatorial elections was both arduous and frustrating for all of us. However, one thing that has been surprising and will forever remain in my memory is the retreat to divisive ethnic jingoism and stereotypes. The election violence here and there and the subsequent success of the incumbent at the polls reignited age-old mistrust amongst different Nigerians, giving rise to some very disturbing ethnic vitriol both on and offline. These vitrials and rebuttals are clear evidence that people still very much see and experience themselves in terms of their ethnicity rather than as Nigerians. What this suggests to me is that if we truly want to continue the Nigerian project, we'll need to become introspective and open ourselves to questions by listening to the voices of disaffected groups so as to understand the source and reason for division, yet maintaining a focus on mending bridges rather than burning them with our vile and unhelpful words. This will require that we are courageous, open-minded, and have a deeper sense of history. Yes, history. To do this, we must be willing to submit to the wrongs of our past so as to claim back our future. So who are we? No, the wedding is not today. Today, I am wearing items that pick from across Nigeria. I'm wearing my East, my North, and my South. This, in my opinion, is the true beauty of what it means to be a Nigerian, that we are fortunate to select and incorporate from all our rich cultures. Today, I am Nigeria. 49 years ago, the most atrocious 3 years in our history ended with an estimated 2 million Nigerians killed in the genocidal civil war. Although the Nigerian civil war is over, however, for many, especially for Southeasterners, it remains an unfinished business, and it continues to occupy as the elephant in the room, with no form of memorialization or public discourse. In fact, it was expunged from our curriculum. It is the absence of the complexity and nuance of history and experience that over and over again leads people to retreat into ethnic biases and stereotypical attacks. If we wish to continue with this project called Nigeria, and I firmly believe we should, we need to start having honest conversations, open and painful dialogue. I believe it is the only way we can form a true Nigeria out of our many differences. And today, I invite us to begin to confront the errors of our past, reconcile it with the present, in order to remove the cobwebs that constrain our stronger togetherness.
That's really strong. That's very holistic. I love it.
I know, I'm looking...
I'm surprised that somebody so politically correct feels this amount of...
I won't answer yet. I'll let you all go around before I answer that.
No, but I was just going to say...
this togetherness, confronting the past, the civil war.
To be honest, I'm
that Ireti, not that she's not a good woman.
But let me just make the point. Sorry, Libros. The thing that pains me when it comes to having a dialogue about our togetherness, often the much I see on social media, is the fact that there's a certain lack of humanity in the way people express themselves. Are you saying that just because you didn't suffer or you don't have anybody that suffered the Biafran war, you can't empathize? No. The way they talk as if, well, it didn't happen to us, so you people, you know, even when they talk of Jews like that, I feel the pain. As a human being, can't you even say if nobody ever died from whatever that person suffered? As a human being, can't you understand that if you were in their shoes? So I just feel that people throw away that ability to empathize, and that's what always numbs me and puts me off such conversations, because are you saying that it's my own problem? That's the thing I find hard to deal with.
No, in our attempt to forget it.
Thank you. That's it.
In our attempt to forget it, we refuse to teach the lessons. And so what you didn't experience and you are not taught about the experience, you will never feel it. It will take, you know, that extra human to feel it. So that's why she said it was expunged from our history books.
Yes, correct.
So we don't discuss it. Rather than sit down to discuss how did we get here?
Yes.
So that we avoid these pitfalls.
Again.
And so today, we heard of the reconciliation.
Truth and reconciliation.
No, they call it reconstruction, reconciliation, the 3 R's. But at the end of the day, it was just a mere slogan.
Exactly.
Nothing. And so, even after the war, you still found the Easterners, they all went out. But what happens? You remember the Metasine, the Northern Crisis? You know, it was as if they were the only people that were traveling. And so anytime there was crisis, you know, it's as if they are the only strangers. We also forget that people from the north also are very nomadic in nature.
Yes.
So now our political leaders have mastered the act of using us against us. So once they lost out, they shout marginalization.
Yes.
Meanwhile, when they are dining together, they don't remember. You know. So that's where we now begin we should begin to teach, you know, our people the lessons of this crisis. We were more than, quickly rounding up. Rwanda, today we celebrate Rwanda, but we forgot that we had passed Rwanda. After the war, we had PAN, we had Nigerian Airways, we had the National Theatre, we have shipping lines, and all of that built by Nigerians and for Nigerians. But we lost all of that because now we all want to divide and rule.
Yeah, no, because I was, you know, everything Libora said really resonated with me, because I said, this is a very simple thing to actually solve, you know? If our leaders really wanted to solve this, our leaders could easily solve this. First of all, if Buhari wanted to solve...
But I got the impression Gowon wanted to solve...
No, let me even just, you know, forget about the past. We're talking about now, who's in, you know. And I'm like, if Buhari really wanted to solve this, all he needed to do was just have a government that was inclusive. Don't make statements of 95%, 5%. This one voted for me, this one didn't vote. Don't
penalize people.
Yes, don't penalize people. Don't have this arrogance towards the Igbos or the Easterners, and then, you know, you have this, let my people come and feed. You know, let my people come and jolly. The rest of you can go to hell. If he really wanted to solve this problem, it is so easy. Because I'll tell you one thing about the Easterners or the Southeasterners, or however we want to be known, is that we like to actually, you know, assimilate. We want to be part of it. We even want to forget. Trust me, we want to forget. No, not forget in the sense that we want Nigeria to be whole, but at the same time, if people don't allow it to be like that, then, you know, what else is going to happen?
You see, Oshibanjo tried it, and it worked perfectly.
Yes, in that time, in that short space.
We were made to forget, because we were not taught in school as well. Because I remember the Civil War thing. I honestly thought it was some kind of, maybe when I was very, very, very young, in Benin, I thought the Easterners had misbehaved, like a child who has misbehaved, that is well beaten and caned by the parents, and now go and respect yourself. That's what I thought the Civil War was. Until they started to open up that it's not quite that. But isn't
that's the impression a lot of people still have about it.
And they still have that exact impression. But
the
other way I'm thinking about it, is it because, you see, all these things have serious... There's a lot of thought that goes into going to war and all that, politics, all sorts of economics, everything. Could it be that there's too much at stake, and that's why we're hiding?
Okay, so let me answer. You said something earlier, and I'll answer it, because I really feel very passionate about this. And honestly, I might be a liberal. You know me, I don't hide from what needs to be said. Seriously, that's why I feel like for as long as the whole debate, Biafran debate, continues to be pushed aside, I personally, as a Nigerian, feel offended that it's not being discussed. That's number one. Number two, you said something about, are you lacking in empathy? And that's the foolishness that I see. It's that everybody in the country was affected. Everybody.
Yeah,
look, it's correct to say that the majority of those who died didn't die from gunshots. They died from starvation.
Yes.
Starvation.
We're all prisoners of...
Yes, and we are all... These are my brothers, my sisters from the East.
We're all casualties.
That's why I'm dressed like this today. I feel very passionate about it. And I think, you know, when you go on, when I started researching this, and I think I've read more about Biafra since this whole ethnic ugliness began on social media than I've ever read. And you're left totally shocked. Because when you go on war memories, you hear people from Lagos talk their war. You hear people from the north, everybody was talking about how the war affected them as a person. But guess what? I think it's from Biafra that Nigeria began to take on this carelessness, this violence, this... you know, this uncaring, this selfish, I think it all began from after Biafra. And unless we truly debate it,
Yeah,
that elephant in the room is going to be there.
Because the truth is,
and I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm saying as a people.
My mom telling me, because she was there live, so she, you know, it took her actually telling me about what she went through. You know, and that was when I started to feel
perhaps
what they went
this might be a good time for us to hear from the voices on the streets.
Let's talk to the voice pops. Went out on the street to ask Nigerians how they felt about the ethnophobia that's been going on.
Definitely played a role. Like, even as you can even see from the election results that a lot of the northern tribes went for Buhari. And also the fact that Atiku chose like his vice president to be from the south side, you can even see that gathered a lot of votes. Like, but Atiku basically won all the states in the south, all the southern states.
Yes, it did. Most Southwesterners voted for APC. The majority of the Southeasterners and South-Southerners voted for PDP. So it did.
Yes, 100%. There was a day I worked late and I listened to my colleagues, and the plan was like, oh, you know, after this, it's coming to Sat and Siso Sisbajo is with Buhari. Oh, maybe when he leaves, there's hope that he's coming to the Yoruba land. And the other one, oh, if Atiku is there, maybe he's leaving, it will come to the Igbo land. So definitely, it's along ethnic and religious lines. And until we keep that aside and work as one and say, oh, this is what we want as a nation. For me, I'm a Christian, but what I always tell people, if a pagan will deliver, let's vote him there. If a Muslim will deliver, let's vote him there. Then if he's a Christian, let's put him there.
You know, the nation has been polarized along ethnic and religious divides for the past 4 years, which is what we've seen in this administration. And I think the unifying of this nation is key to this is second term. It has to show that it's everybody's president.
Yes. What did we think from that?
So
the guy
quickly, permit me
to
say, you know, profess some form of solution to this, because if care is not taken, very soon we're going to be having people without identity. Let me explain briefly. You are in Lagos, you can't vie for public office in Lagos. And then you want to contest for public office, you go to your state of origin, they say they don't know you because you are a Lagosian. And so before you know it, your children, in some cases, they don't even visit the village. They are not Lagosian and they are not from your place. They are without identity. So this idea of state of origin,
we need to get rid of it, right? So
all of these are some of the issues also. A man asked me recently, what state are you from? I told him. He said, what local government? I said, please, is getting you know, so I
have school fees to think about.
You know, we need to begin to find a way of accommodating, because this idea of, oh, you are not a Yoruba, and so not being a Yoruba, you can't determine who governs
Lagos.
Lagos. And so, yet we're talking about government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Or you are not from Anambra, and so you can't come to Anambra and vote. Yet you live in Anambra, you pay your taxes in Anambra. You know, so I think we should begin to challenge our leaders. Challenge leadership. Anybody that wants to take up responsibility of leaders, these are questions we should be asking them.
Yeah. And I hate to be a party pooper, but we do have to call it a wrap right now on The Advocate. However, as usual, the conversation continues on our social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter on @PlusTVAfrica, # The Advocate NG. Don't forget the NG. On Facebook, it's +TV Africa, The Advocate NG. We love hearing from you. Till then, time to say goodbye and see you next week.
Bye.
Welcome to The Advocate, a program that thrashes out all the topical issues of the day.
When you are in government, you don't see nothing wrong with whatever is happening. The moment you are out there, everything is wrong.
You can't even see many women now, and when they're there, they're not even really making a mark, and then they have an NYSC problem and this and that.
One of the reasons why we don't have more women in politics in Nigeria is for as long as political meetings continue to take place in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
No, really. It's disastrous for a president to be unaware of the chief
justice.
It's
a ploy.
It could be a strategy.
That strategy was
a
terrible strategy. Because the buck stops at your table.
Whether it's that we don't look after our cities, and quite frankly, Nigeria is becoming a very ugly place.
When you are the only one feeding the people with this news, and there is nobody countering them, it becomes, you know, the news.